Hey, what is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel, the big man, always to the right of me, Mr. Ben Troupe. Ben, how are we feeling this morning, my friend?
Man, feeling good. Had a great one last night, and then we get to jumping back off again this morning, whether early morning, late morning, whatever you want to call it. Looking forward to it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today, but before we get into the fun and before we get into the general topic, I got to talk about this because they're just people running nonsense on social media, and I gotta I gotta spread the word and the kindness. Unfortunately, with the talks about the Texas floods, we the NFL family is affected. Kansas City Chiefs owners 9-year-old daughter was lost in the flood, and it's just the whole thing's a sad situation. People on social media turning into political things. People, saying I'm not even going to repeat it. It's just vile stuff that shouldn't be said, regardless if it's in between people on social media, whatever. It's just some things, as we say, man. You keep it to yourself. You keep it between your ears. Some things is just you don't say it, and then a lot of people are just turning this in a nasty way, a political way, etc. So, but my thoughts and prayers are with the Hunt family because could not imagine sending my kid away to a camp and never being able to see him or her again. It just messes me up. I mean, I when I was younger, my mom used to send us to Boy Scout camp, summer camp, stuff like that. Could have
hmm
easily happened to me or my brother. I would not wish that upon anybody. So definitely thoughts and prayers are with the Hunt family today.
No doubt. Yeah, condolences to the Hunt family. That's unimaginable. I mean, like you said, you send your child off to have some fun. The next thing you know, you seeing what's going on in Texas, and you hope that as big as Texas is, that I mean, you don't wish it upon nobody, but you definitely hope it's not in the pathway of your child. Come to find out that it is. Yeah, that's unimaginable. The only thing I can halfway relate to that is uh, tight end played for the Ravens. His name escapes me right now. The Ravens in Arizona. He was backing out uh, of his house in Arizona, and his daughter was behind in the car. He didn't see her. He backed over her. He didn't see her. She ended up dying from it. But man, my condolences definitely go out to the Hunt family and to the people that's making this anything but what it is. It's a freaking tragedy. Everybody has these conspiracy theories, politicized and stuff. Social media has become a cesspool of ignorance. Certain people just, and the fact that we all got access to it and we be saying these crazy things. Let me get this straight. A flood, which is a natural disaster that can happen in anywhere at any time, regardless of who you are, how much money you have. So now, it's a red state thing, it's a blue state thing, it's a Democrat thing. Man, we are crazy. We can't even show empathy and sympathy and some level of restraint and support for people who just lost their child because we want to make a point. But my condolences to the Hunt family. My condolences to every family in Texas that have lost loved ones. Because every time you refresh your social media, the number goes up. It went from 10 to 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. That is unimaginable. The one thing my mom always tell me, you can't do nothing with water, man. Water, when it gets to moving, it's gonna take everything in its path. But we as people need to come together. Listen, treat a tragedy like what it is. It's a tragedy. It doesn't matter who it affects. It affects us all. If it affects one of us, it affects all of us. Let's look at it through the eyes of condolences, support, and empathy. Lend a hand, as my grandfather would say. Before you lend an opinion, lend a hand. Lend a hand. Shut your mouth. Open up your hands and your hearts and your wallets to help. Because who knows? Listen, they'll never ever get back to what they were. Even when the flood water subside, you can replace anything but people. They cannot be replaced. To the Hunt family, my condolences, man, and to all the Texas families that have been affected, will be affected. Man, we hope we do the right thing as people, Americans or not, as people, and come together and support these people.
See, you just touched on something that just reminds me when we were talking to Irvin a few weeks ago when he's just talking about there's only one of you. That's why we all have unique fingerprints. There's only
Exactly.
one. You only get one Ben Troop. one Stephen Rychel, one Scott Morganroth. There's just one of you, and as he was saying, some of us died cheap carbon copies. You want to think you're cool and do this and do that, man. What some of these people are doing ain't cool. It's not.
It's not.
Not anything I want to repeat, but
it's not. And listen, and to the people that saying things like, "Oh, your billions could help you now." There is something wrong with y'all. There is something seriously wrong. It doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter, where your political lines are. These are tragedies, like hurricanes, like tornadoes. Like, what are we doing? And it's ravaging. This water. I mean, you find the people in trees 10 miles away from their homes trying to get help. It just showed tragedy. Just shows the type of people we are, and it's not everybody, but it's enough pockets of ignorance that will affect the bunch. Too many rotten apples. But we're not gonna let the bad outshine the good. We're not gonna let the negative outshine the positive. Mr. Hunt and their family need all the support they can get because, like you just said, Stephen. I mean, having children, you always think that even when they're not in your presence, that they're gonna be all right. To know the last time you saw your kid is when they got on the plane. Oh man. He gonna need and I don't think that's something you recover from. You just need support. So when you see Mr. Hunt, the Hunt family, people like that, man, just give them a hug, whether they want you to touch them or not. So look, man, I do not know what you're going through, but I'm just letting you know, man. We praying for you. We support you, man. That's forever.
Yeah. I think the only positive thing I seen, I was watching this video, guys going over a bridge with a tractor trailer moves his dump up and get some people out of this building, move them out of the way. Like that's probably like the only positive thing I've seen on it since this news broke. But don't want to dwell on this too much. I know it tugs on people's heartstrings and things of that nature, but I got some venom I got to spit today. Uh-oh. I do. Ben's already seen what I was leading off with today. So obviously my Phillies, choked away the game last night, but that's not what I want to beat down on. Came across this video and it's just, we've been talking about this a while for the baseball needing to implement that the ABS system, and this series out here in San Francisco just shows me exactly why. MLB umpire Phil Cousy just had an absolute terrible several inning stretch where his strike zone was just all over the place. Hell, I could even sit there and say, do you got NBA referee Dunahee been talking to you about how to make some money on the side? I'm going to play this clip, Ben. We're going to come right back into it and just kind of digest what we just saw. So here we go, people.
0-1 to Harper on that pitch that was out of the zone.
Wow.
He's got Chapman and Flores.
Adames being
4 ERA. Jeez.
And he's been calling that pitch a lot. He's had a wide zone, and that caught the corner. Another pitch that's on the plate.
Oh boy, Phil. Another.
That's also a strike. That's
2-2. And a strike 3 called on the pitch that was out of the zone.
Well out.
Yeah, Bryce having a word with Phil Cousy about that.
Damage he has on left-handers in particular.
2-1. That was a little off the plate. Top of the second inning, Nick Castellanos leads it off, and he takes strike 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be big crowds all week.
Mikey. But here in July,
Little herky.
Now,
Wait.
Phil. Wait, Ben wants to get on. Go ahead, brother.
Wait. This dude is a troll. He's trolling people. Wait a minute. Wait. This is a surefire way if it's a strike or not. Does the catcher got to move his glove? If he has to move it, now I get it. Sometimes the strike zone, we know what we're looking at. We've been watching baseball a long time. Now, I might not know if it's a fastball, a changeup, a slider. I get that. That catcher is trying to not move his glove, move it up and down. Number one, this is why I couldn't beat, man. Managers in baseball got to have patience of a I'll be like, dude, listen, I'm a Braves fan. I came up Bobby Cox, baby. Bobby Cox getting thrown out. First thing that I'm not dealing with it. What is that? And here's the thing, right? When did it get to the point of where you can't even talk to an ump? I can't even talk to you? So you gonna call this nonsense and then gonna look at me? Dude, if superstars like Bryce Harper can't get good calls, it's over with. And I'm looking around like, sometimes the catcher way over here. What the? Listen, the catcher is so surprised that you call a strike. He just throwing it back to the pitcher like, all right. That catcher going back is like, dude, that's the kind of stuff make pitchers think they're throwing more strikes, and they're not. They're not. The goal of a pitcher is to throw strikes, right? The goal of an ump is to call them when they are actually a strike. That ain't even close to being a strike. I could get it. After a certain point, you start saying to yourself, Steven, listen, am I a fan of anything electronic, robotic, AI generated when it comes to sports? No. But if stuff like that is happening, it's only a matter of time, because I love the human element, because you got human error. I get it. And you're not going to get every call right. I get it. But some of this stuff, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Steven, I don't even know. This is why baseball is so scrutinized, because there is no repercussion of bad umping. With bad umping, you get fined, you not get the call in the next 10 games. It's got to be a repercussion to these. That's like a ref to make a bad call in football, cost somebody a game. Oh, this conference sends out, after watching the tape, we realize he blew it. No, he blew it for us, and we got to live with it. Come on, man. That ain't even kind of awful. That is that is egregious. That makes it look like
it's not just that it's not just that it's awful. Like when you're watching that video, it's like a foot and a half off the plate, and you're calling strikes, and then the next half inning, you're calling pretty much in the zone balls. Like, there's no consistency to Cuzzy's strike zone in that game. Now, he could have been having a bad day, or I don't know. I don't want to assume, but this is why fans are clamoring for the ABS system. I don't want to take a job, as you're saying, like like anything AI generated, automated, whatever. Like, we have an issue with, because it takes away that you're taking a job away from somebody first and foremost. All right, but I do think that when there's a thing like this, like we're talking about, keeping the game going, you want it to just keep moving and things of that nature, then maybe just the home plate umpire is just there to call outs.
No, Steven, you on to it. No. Steven, if you're a pitcher, if I'm a pitcher, right? Just say I start, you're gonna have your starter, you're gonna have the relievers. If the starter is stinking it up, the reliever gonna come in quicker. Like, if the starter just, hey man, I'm getting a reliever. We can have relief umps now. If you're stinking up the joint, managers, hey man, both managers can't. I don't like how it was going, because people go, hey man, you can't replace the ump. Why not? I'm a professional umpire, and I respect your position. But just like the best pitchers, Clayton Kershaw is not having a good day, right? Matt Scherzer, they're not having a good day. You're gonna pull them early, not because they don't got the stuff. It just ain't working today, sir. I don't know this is a strike zone. A strike zone has to be where the hitter is. I know you get in the batter's box, but what is this? I think something like that should, because if umps know, I'm gonna take it a step further. If I'm Eli Manning and I know I can't be benched, then I don't know, dude, is he playing like he can't be benched? Yep. You see how egregious that game was? There has to be a consequence for what I do. Look, I made it. If I'm a professional umpire, I'm the highest of the high. Every other ump in Little League, T-ball, college, semi-pro looks up to me and they're watching. Dude, what is that? That's not going to get it done. It takes too much work, blood, sweat, and tears to make it to the big leagues. Most people will never, ever make it out of AA ball. They're not coming out of AA, AAA. They're going to be there for life. And guess what? They're getting paid. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? I finally get called up, and I got to deal with that? No, man. I come on. That people work too hard. Look, when Bryce Harper just turned and looked at him like, dude, like, really, dude? Like, at bats, how many at bats you get a game? What, 4, 5, maybe?
You get 3 to 4 if you know anything more than 4, then you probably got more than 10 runs on the board. But,
yeah, and to have that,
typically averaging between 3 to 4 at the most 5. But when
and that's what. Listen, if I'm swinging at balls, if I'm swinging at pitches, that's on me. That's on me. I'm not even swinging. I'm like, what the? I'm not swinging because that's not a strike. Oh my God. Craziness.
Like I said, I don't like to be tearing down umps and sitting there saying they shouldn't have jobs, but this is why Major League Baseball absolutely needs to be implementing this ABS system after this season.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Look,
there's enough evidence on this stuff where there's a whole ass YouTube, TikTok, X account contributed to the bait up, and that was just one instrument. And I just thought it was so egregious that we absolutely had to talk about it. That was probably the worst. Like, you got people sitting there wishing that Angel Hernandez is back there behind the plate again. I mean,
you know it's not got bad. You know it's not got awful. If that's the case.
And anyone who's followed baseball long enough, Angel there was no consistency to anything he done. That's why he's retired, and infamous for all the wrong reasons in baseball. But man,
I mean, doesn't it? But think about that, Steve. But doesn't it? It's like this. And I'm not comparing this to it. If my child goes undisciplined at home, and I send them to school, him or her, they're gonna terrorize the school. If these umps aren't being reprimanded or disciplined, they're not going to get better. Like, you think by showing him, people say, do one bad ump make all umps look bad? Yes, absolutely. Because what happens is, I'm going to keep saying this, no one is going to be remembered for your good, people. No, you're going to remember for how bad your bad was. And if your bad was real bad, it's all bad. And I'm telling you, with an ump like that, because think about it. If you play in a sport, fans of a sport, we're superstitious as all get out. If Steve was wearing a certain hat and the Eagles went on a run, I'm not taking that hat off until they lose. That's just how we are. I go into the game and I'm seeing this guy's up in the game. He's the ump today. I'm already expecting fireworks. Like, I'm already expecting him, like, dude. And he either gonna live up to my expectation or say, okay, listen. Can an ump is human? Can they have bad games? Yes. But a bad inning is different than a bad game. I mean, he was off in the 5th inning. No, dude, like, when superstars are supposed to get benefits of the doubt, every sport, I don't care, baseball, football. Bryce Harper is one of the faces of MLB. And I'm like, what? Oh, and if you think you're proving a point, well, if I'm gonna call bad calls, bad balls and strike, there's a call balls, strikes. I don't know what you call. And I'm like, that's a ball, right? That was a strike. When the announcers are going, another strike, even they know, like, dude, we can see you, dude. Like, hey, and everything.
I mean, it's bad because you got Crucker in there, and John. One thing you can say about John, he had an eye for the zone. I'll give him that. He wasn't like a Tony Gwynn-esque type player, but he was a legitimate hitter that was very consistent throughout his career. If he's calling you out like that, then you know you're having a rough day. It's but I think the other thing on the other side of it is Philly fans are quite upset with Rob Thompson because nothing. A lot of the sports media heads here in Philadelphia feel like that Rob should have been Bobby Cox-esque. get
Yeah.
that nature, like standing up for your players. And I've already said it, man. He's probably one of the top tier team coaches that is on the hot seat. He better deliver this October. If not, the fans, the media have enough firepower to force Dave Dombrowski's hand to remove him. So
I mean, look. Once again, nobody. If you are a pro team in Philly, you are being watched from a different area. And if that type of egregiousness is happening on the mound, listen, throw your hands up in the dugout. That's not enough. Come out the dugout. Confront him. Because I can do that. They're doing that in the stand. There are people doing two things.
Charlie Manuel would get thrown out if he felt that there wasn't an equal strike zone.
Listen, if Bobby Cox was the manager, if Bobby Cox was still the manager, of the Braves right now in 2025, he would be so freaking loved. Because that's the job, right, of the manager. Look, to make sure that I get the best out of my team, but I got to cover that up now. What are you doing? And I don't like these umps that hit me with the, hey, man, stay in the dugout. No, what you mean stay in the dugout? You can't even see. You're right there. I can see this from over here. Anyway, yeah, I do agree. Mr. Thompson, if Rob Thompson don't get it right for 2 weeks, one, you got too good of a team. Well, what you're doing right now, you got to finish the job. And I get it. Winning the pennant, winning the World Series is tough. So, because you don't want to look back on the fact that you had a Bryce Harper, you had this type, this pitching staff, this team around them. Got to make it happen, man. And yes, I know you got the Dodgers. I know you got the usual suspects like the Astros and all that. No one's worried about the Yankees anymore. Let me say that again. Nobody is worried about the Yankees. Juan Soto chose between the Mets and the Yankees, and he chose the Mets. So that just shows you the brand of the Yankees is still there. But we ain't seen y'all win it. We ain't seen y'all win a World Series since 2009. Come on, man. We still had DVDs, man. I think we had DVDs in 2009, man. People still listen to CDs back then, man. Nope. So Aaron Judge hit another home run. Outside of that, y'all ain't winning. Y'all gonna be a playing team. So stop it.
All right, but let's be fair. Coming up this coming season, I think after the World Series, when they have the owners' meetings,
yeah,
things of that nature, I think that we are more than likely going to see some type of ABS system implemented, and some home plate umpires are going to be on the unemployment line, and it's because of guys like Phil Cuzzy's the reason why we're going to have it, unfortunately. But don't want to dwell on that too much. Obviously, I think we're all, when we're seeing stuff like this, we all fans. It doesn't matter, you're a Phillies fan, Braves fan, Yankees fan, Cardinals fan, Cubs fan. We all, I think, are in favor for this. Hate to see people lose the job, but it has to be done now. There's no more talking in a way, pushing it another year down the road. It's time. It is time. But going to move on to the next topic. We can get into a little college football. But how surprised are you by this one, that both Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders declined to have their likeness put in EA Sports' college football game? I felt that kind of weird for two of the most recognizable coaches in college football today. Just because their name, their likeness, what they've contributed to the sport of football. Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders declined to have their likeness in the upcoming. I mean, I'm sure there's some gamers that'll be upset just because of you want everything to kind of look at as it would if you were turning on the TV watching the game. You want to see Deion on the sideline. You'd want to see Coach Belichick on the sideline, etc. I'm actually surprised by this. Two guys that, well, Bill maybe not so, but Deion's never had a problem before, and I don't know if this is a cause and effect because some of the negative stuff that he's had to deal with over the last few years since, and since becoming Colorado head coach. I don't know if it was just a timing thing, a money thing. Are you surprised to see both of these coaches not going to be in the upcoming college football game in 2025?
I would love to say I am surprised, but I'm not for everything you just said, Stephen, and more. I think Bill Belichick is very much he's very pro football and very pro anti football. Like he just wants to coach, right? He got his young fiance girlfriend or whatever. He's very much football and anything. He doesn't want to have to. He doesn't want to have to answer any questions for anything outside of what he can control, and that's coaching UNC. Deion doesn't want to say he assisted to his brand in any way, shape, or form when the college football, NCAA game 2026. And I think that's for a different type of reason. Deion understands that, look, man, my brand is all I have. And I'm always on brand now, whether that's Jackson State, whether that's Colorado, whether that's reality TV shows, whether that's when he was working for NFL Network and on TV. But I think Bill Belichick and Deion is doing it for two different reasons. I think Bill Belichick just goes, I don't care. Like, look. I'm not trying to be trendy. I just don't care. I think Deion is trying to be trendy. I think Deion is trying to be a trendsetter. Because when we look, I remember Deion didn't take them. Deion didn't do that. His players ain't opting out. Warren Sapp ain't opting out, and Marshall Faulk ain't opting out. Deion Sanders is his own man. He's a one-man band. He got a big-time brand. He get it. But this doesn't make you trying to be an outlier. It doesn't make you stand out. It doesn't make you look foolish. It just makes people go, well, are you college football or not? Because I guarantee you, if Shador and Travis Hunter, if they're still in college, I'm sorry. Travis Hunter was on the front cover of 2025, right? He was on the front cover of 2025, right? Him. And I think what happens is when you start talking about a Deion, once again, Deion, whether he likes it or not, man, he likes headlines, man. He likes making headlines. And for what? You don't want him to have to put your gold chains on there. You don't want to, you the only one got prime on your, you get to be in. I mean, think about it. Most people, you wear what the coaches wear. Whatever your alter ego is, or your persona is, you don't get to put prime on it. You did it at Jackson State. You're doing it at Colorado. But don't put it in the game, though. Well, if he declined to do that, I wonder how that goes. Like, don't put my image and likeness in the game. So what do? You just, because you're there, but you don't, you just got on the Colorado. I don't know. I just
think when it comes to certain parts of it, you're just gonna have random.
Man, do you know how dope it would have been to have Deion Sanders Jr. following him around with a camera? Man, come on! Like, it's almost like you do all. It's like this. Deion Sanders Jr. had gotten approved by Roger Goodell to follow Shador around, but he went 5th round. So you ain't finna follow no 5th rounder around, right? Not on the field and access. I don't know. I think Deion gives us all this access until he don't want to give it to us. He gives us all this exposure until he don't want to. Come on, Deion. Come on, Deion. It's like, it's not that serious, right? Because you're not proving anything. Let me say it again. You're not proving anything. People that love you gonna always love you. People that doubt you gonna always doubt you. People that hate you gonna always hate you. But you can add to it real simply by doing Bill Belichick. Listen, when the EA Sports people show up to UNC, like, go over there. Don't ask me about no rankings. Don't ask me about no sleeveless hoodies. Definitely don't ask me about my lady. No. So Bill Belichick, not surprised. Deion, kind of surprised, because Deion, to me, brought flair to the head coaching position, and in football like I've never seen. But when the game come around, no access. EA Sports so weird. They so perplexed. Like, dude, what do you mean? You got access in your house. I just saw you on the video with your grandson. I'm looking at baby showers. I'm looking at you fishing. I'm looking at, and all of a sudden, no access. Now you don't want no access. Now you don't want your name in them. Weird, confusing. But hey, man, it is 2026. The question is, what if 2027 he gonna want it? He gonna, college football 2027. He gonna want him to do it. They're gonna be like, you sure? They're gonna say, well, you don't get to tell. Because I think what it was, Steven, he didn't want to give access to his name and image because he don't want them to tell them they can't do it because Deion gonna probably have some very silly demands. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably what it is. They're like, look, man, we don't. All right, cool. You don't want to give them no access.
I'm also going to go another way with this. Also, remember, he had to deal with medical issues, and maybe when they were doing all of that, he was just unavailable at the time.
Yeah.
And Belichick was also doing his book tour and all that other nonsense. So maybe when they were doing all that to get the game out on time when they were doing, both of those guys just weren't available. So. But I do agree with a lot of what you said there. There's some truth to that. So, but
and because we do so much reporting now, it's gonna come out why. Like the Bill Belichick, ain't nobody gonna really worry about it. But Deion, because like you said, I think he just recently got back on campus because he was in the hospital. I saw that Michael Irvin was like crying on camera saying, "Man, just pray for my friend," because I think Deion tells us just enough about his condition, but it's up and down, man. Like it can take a turn for the worse at any given time. So we always sending our support to Deion. It's just a guy that has given us so much of himself. I would have thought of something like EA Sports, man. I said, dude, they got Deion driving around on a freaking golf cart on the game with Prime on the front of it. It's just so much material they could have used. And like you said, maybe it is because of his health condition now. If it does, continue to get better, improve, maybe, because EA Sports, what they do now,
they can patch him in. They can
update stuff all the time. So who knows, man? And guess what? I mean, Deion will probably have a Netflix special talking about EA Sports. Who knows, man? He always got something in the works. Deion always working on something.
And working on something, we gonna get into this next topic, and everyone was surprised last season when the Eagles had traded Hassan Reddick to the Jets and then signed Josh off to this big contract, and just never quite worked out here. We were just trying to figure out what was what and why was why, and Josh went on his little media tour over the past few days, and he opened up about it and basically said that he wanted to get traded early on when he was talking on the recent podcast. If he's 100% honest with you, wanted to trade fairly early on, he said, just because how things went Philly, he knew that he wasn't a fit, knew the trade wasn't going to happen during that season. Obviously, if we just signed him to a contract, talked to his agent, and was like, it's set, is done, might need to step and put myself in the best position, but knew where it was headed fairly on into the season. And then he went further on more that said that he just saying that we as fans, the media knew that he wasn't worth the money, so he signed with a contender, and I'm in San Francisco now, and every game against the Eagles is personal. Oh man, is that sour grapes or is that not sour grapes, brother?
I mean, it is for a lot of reasons. Here's the thing, right? Josh Huff said a lot. He said a lot in that, he said a lot when he was talking about his time in Philly. When he said I wanted to trade early on when I knew I wasn't a fit. Well, why weren't you a fit? See, when you make those type of statements, you got to clarify that statement. What you mean you weren't a fit? What do you mean you weren't a fit? Well, I mean, was it a scheme? Was it how you fit the scheme?
If you go back, do you remember Fangio's first press conference after OTAs, and they were asking him about Huff, and he was just basically saying he's not there yet. We're hoping that X, Y, and Z happens. It never happened, and then obviously, having a Nolan Smith there, having a Brandon Graham there, he never got into that rotation. He was there, every once in a while on third and long, and when you knew it was a passing situation, and even then he wasn't getting the numbers. He might have had some pressures, but he wasn't getting the sacks. He wasn't getting those big plays. And a lot of people were sitting there, initially it's like, well, why did we trade? Why did we trade Hassan Reddick? Because Josh Huff isn't doing anything to earn that contract, and I still think it's absolutely was a scheme thing that he just couldn't do anything outside of rushing the passer, and Vic Fangio defense, you can't do that.
Nope,
that's not how.
And you know what? And there it is. Fangio comes over. He's not a guy that's gonna mince words. He's not a guy that's gonna backpedal. He's gonna say what he mean what he says. When Bryce says, I didn't fit the scheme, or I knew it was going to be, something happened with him and Fangio that he didn't like. And I get it. Those type of things happen. But you know what you get a chance to do? You get to go out there and prove it. Nolan Smith is not the best pass rusher for the Eagles. Nolan Smith is not the best defensive player for the Eagles. What Nolan Smith does when called upon is deliver. Every time you need him to, he delivers. Nolan Smith is not as big as Bryce. Nolan Smith is undersized, right? Nolan Smith is easy to find because he plays football with anybody that plays football with nothing but tape on their fingers and no gloves. Those are serious people. Just telling y'all they want to play. This is what happened with Bryce. Bryce knows this. If I'm undrafted, right, and I played 4 years with the Jets, I come over with Philly. Philly is a different type of culture. Philly is the biggest. Here's what people don't want to talk about. We talk about Philly. It's a prove-it culture. Every single year. I get it. The other 31 teams are on championship teams. You got to prove your worth every day. In practice, in the film room, on the field. Bryce, you were brought in. Listen, Nolan Smith is a pass rushing specialist, but he also know I got to stop the run. Yes, I know what I'm here to do, but I also got to show my worth. I show my worth in what I do in the run game. I show my talent in what I do in the passing game. I prove to Vic Fangio I'm worth a spot when you can plug me in and you're not gonna miss a beat. I can go back to going back to the playoffs. The best player on offense in the playoffs was Jalen, and then I give it to Saquon. When you talk about totality, you could argue that the best player on defense consistently throughout the playoffs was Nolan.
Absolutely.
So for Bryce,
had the most sacked in Eagles history for a single playoffs. The end of story. Nothing else.
So when Bryce say, "Hey man, I knew early," based off of what? How do you know early? The practice field. They're gonna draft guys. They're gonna bring guys in. I got pass rushers are like DBs. You can never have enough. I need a bunch of different guys to play and plug because of the wear and tear. Because of injuries, because of nicks. Bryce, look, man, just go to your new team and be. I don't understand this. You get to walk away a Super Bowl champ. You understand what a winning culture looks like. You're going to a winning culture. But when you say things like, "Hey man, every time I play them, it's gonna be personal," do you think the Eagles and Lane Johnson didn't worry about you, man? They're gonna say, "All right." If Michael Parsons and Nick Bosa and all these the best pass rushers in the league can't deal with Lane and that O line, they're gonna be like, Bryce. Come on, man. Guys that never said a word. Listen, Chauncey Gardner Johnson of the world, he been talking since his days in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Since he went to New Orleans. So that's what he does. Non-talkers who start talking, that ain't you, man. That ain't who you are, Bryce. Because here's the thing. How you know you're going to fit the scheme in San Francisco? See, how do you know? Coach Eli, he's back out there as the D coordinator. You're talking a lot. Well, the greatest D coordinators have the hardest schemes to work in. They're not simple. They're very, very complex. You asked to do a lot. So that's what you're really saying. It's not that you couldn't rush the passer. It's not that you couldn't stop the run. I don't think you could pick up the defense. That's what I have to read. If you don't tell me, if you don't clarify your statement, I got to read between the lines. Well, when Chad Johnson went to the Patriots, he didn't play because he couldn't play. He didn't play because he couldn't pick up the system. Listen, Coach Fangio just sounds like a guy that has a very complex system. If you're getting ready for the freaking Super Bowl parade, Coach, what's up? Come here. You see this right here? What the hell? You see this play right here? It's like Coach Fangio is always on. It's football, man. I ain't with all this cute stuff. My wife is the only reason why his wife and kids probably the only reason why he went to the parade because they said, "Daddy, let's go." All right, but I'm bringing my laptop. So I don't know why Bryce didn't work. Only Bryce and the Eagles know. But if I got to read between the lines, everybody don't fit. CJ Johnson Gardner-Johnson fit the system. He didn't fit the culture. Got to go. He fit the system, not the culture. Got to go, right? And maybe you didn't fit either. Maybe you didn't fit the culture. I know you didn't fit the defense. Now you're in San Francisco. Only one person cares about when you play the Eagles, and that is you, Bryce. But guess what Lane and company going to do? What they do every week. They go. I saw Lane Johnson on the interview this morning.
They're going to maul and ball. They're going to maul and ball.
Listen, and you giving them a reason to maul you. You giving them a reason. I mean, they out there doing Dark Knight references while they playing. Man, they ain't worried about you. Listen, you want to know why the D-line for the Eagles is so good? Who you think they had to deal with in training camp? Okay, I'm telling y'all, it's the mentality. You didn't fit it. You got a Super Bowl ring. So when they bring the team back in 10 years, over the bygone, you get to show up. And Coach Fangio, y'all gonna look at each other, give the fake hug and fake pleasantries or whatever. But come on, Bryce, man. Like, listen, it's not gonna work leaving the Eagles talking trash. You remember Hassan Reddick? Me neither. When Hassan Reddick left, he ain't even showing up to Tampa. He didn't show up to the Jets. Why would Tampa give him? That is so crazy. Oh, he didn't show up for them. He gonna show up for us. Where's Hassan? I don't know. You seen him? Hassan Reddick, you're going to find Hassan Reddick the same way the Bucs could find Liam Cohen, who's not a Jags head. Man, stop talking about the Eagles when you listen. If you used to date her over here. She broke up with you. Now you're dating a girl in San Francisco. You used to date a girl over here in Philly. Now you're dating a girl in Houston. The girl in San Francisco, like, why do you keep talking about her? Huh? No, I'm just saying. Why you told me you don't? I am, but I just want to let her know. I'm the greatest thing ever happened to her. No, you're not. You're not.
Oh man!
I hope y'all meet in the NFC Championship game. How about that, Bryce? Hope y'all meet NFC Championship game, and you break the huddle, and Lane look at you and go, "You know, I know, right? You got something to say? Watch what I do to Nick when I maul Nick Bosa, and you got to come in behind him. What you think I'm gonna do to you? Okay."
It's gonna be another clip on the highlight reel for
training. Yeah, I'm about to say it's gonna be a train. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be a training tape of what not to do. Do not poke. We don't poke bears, people. You don't feed them. You don't poke them. You just go to the exhibit and go. You see that right there? Oh, I mean, if a bear behind the cage and they run at you, you're gonna back up, and he's behind the cage. What's gonna happen when it's in front of you? His name is Lane, and he don't like nobody with opposing jerseys on. Just saying.
And speaking of ridiculous comments, this was last week, but it's so ridiculous. It goes on our lines of why you talking nonsense, right? So the 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, Mr. Andrew Filipino. I don't know if that's how he said it. He believes, because we were already talking about this last night, the whole TJ Watt thing. They still don't got him under contract. There's rumors that first round picks have already been offered to Pittsburgh and a $30 million contract to TJ, but he believes that the Eagles are going to trade would if they would offer Nolan Smith in a late round pick that Pittsburgh would trade it. Huh? Did you not just hear what we were talking about? Listen, when we were on here last week, what we were talking about, the Eagles have one of the cheapest defenses in the NFL. You have Howie Roseman who knows how to manipulate this and do that. He's not signing a $30 million pass rusher. That's why the Hassan Reddick, went to New Jersey and is now down in Tampa Bay because he wanted to be in the lines of that ilk. So what would make Andrew over here from 97.3 think that we would give up Nolan Smith when he's still on his rookie contract? Are you guys do not pay attention to what's going on. Stop. We were already dealing with this before the draft when New England was sitting there saying that they were going to get A.J. Brown out of Philadelphia. It's not going to happen. You guys really just do things for clicks, don't y'all? Like, that's what this is about. Let's be honest. Is it dry over there in Pittsburgh? I don't think so. You all got plenty to talk about with all the nonsense going on.
Well, once again, if you ever wanted to know how valuable Nolan Smith was, look at that. One playoff, appearance. I mean, one playoff appearance like he just did this year. I'm gonna trade TJ Watt. Man, you give him Nolan Smith for the late round pick. I'll do it. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. No, I trade for players when I need them. That's what a trade is, right? I'm trading for need. Here's the thing about TJ. TJ is a future Hall of Famer. TJ knows this is the last big contract he's going to get. It ain't coming from Philly. It is not coming from Philly. 2 reasons. One, they don't need you, TJ. They could use you. Anybody could use a TJ Watt. But what you just said, Steven, boy, that's quarterback money. $30 million. You know how many players I can sign for $30 million on the Eagles? So, Nolan, yes, Nolan, you don't have to worry about leaving Philly. You're good, young, and you good. You don't got to worry about it. But this is why anybody with a platform, anybody with social media, following, can put out anything. Let me tell you what Howie Roseman will not be. He will not be prompted. He will not be scammed, tricked, or bullied in the no trades. Does TJ Watt want out of Philly? Want out of Pittsburgh? Yeah. See, this is what nobody really talking about. TJ wants his money, but I think he wants out of Pittsburgh because he knows we ain't winning no super dupers, man. Let me tell you what both Watts gonna end up doing. TJ Watt gonna make the Hall of Fame. His brother JJ gonna definitely make the Hall of Fame. And when they start talking about Super Bowls, they can only hope and wish. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen for neither one of them. Now, obviously, JJ's already done. TJ is an incredible. Listen, I can say this right now. I was way wrong about TJ Watt. I thought he was gonna be all right. I didn't know he was gonna be like this. Let me tell you what Nolan Smith has showed the whole NFL. You got stars, you got superstars, and you got role players. Guess who's the most important? That would be the role player. The best teams got the best role players. That's in every sport. That's hockey, that's football, that's basketball. Name a better role player than Nolan Smith. You can't. It doesn't exist. Nolan will do anything. Nolan will run down on kickoff return, punt return, and will run Jaden Daniels down. Let him know. Oh, you thought because I'm a playing plug guy, I'm not effective? Ask anybody. Hey man, who would you rather be? You rather be on the Eagles with a role, Bryce, or you rather be TJ Watt, super duper star, can't get your money on the team that ain't going nowhere fast because you trade for guys like Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, trade away, guy like Minka Fitzpatrick, and your starting quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. Y'all not gonna do that. So Nolan, you good? Don't worry about it. Take that clip and clip it and show people, hey man, take that and just put it in stone and say, hey man, how you gonna say, hey, Nolan Smith in a late round pick? No and no. TJ, if you gonna get your money, listen, I know y'all both in PA. And one of them has a lot of Super Bowls. I think Pittsburgh still got over 5. They got a bunch of Super Bowls. It's all about what you're doing currently. And right now, it's that other team in PA. They in Philly. So yeah, I when I saw that, I said that's cool and everything. But Howie Roseman I show other GMs how to do GMs. I don't need no help over here, man. What they say? What did Ryan Clark say? If Howard Rosen plays chess and everybody else playing checkers, you can end up playing Connect 4, and that's a child's game. We ain't doing it over here. Howard Rosen, I don't do Connect 4. I'm good over here in Philly. Whatever y'all doing outside, why don't you call Cincinnati? They can use TJ, JJ, Ray J. They can't sign nobody right now. They can't sign Trey Hendrickson, Shamar Stewart. They playing kids game in Cincinnati. So Nolan, you good? Because I'm gonna have people calling. Hey man, Nolan gonna get traded. No, he won't. No, he's fine.
He ain't going nowhere. Nolan good. We were talking about last week. You seen it, man. They have one of the cheapest defenses in the NFL. I mean, that's only for this year until Jalen Carter gets his contract next year. But that's an argument for another day. But this is just this postseason clickbait nonsense, in my opinion.
That it is.
Unfortunately, we do have a little bit more somber stuff to talk about. We were talking about it last night. I still think Scott got it a little backwards, and I'm going to show you the graphic that shows you as much. But former Texan and former Super Bowl champ with my Philadelphia Eagles is battling a rare form of cancer, and he's been in a spot, and not a lot of people was really knowing what was going on, but he was living out his car, sold his car to try to make some money so he can battle this rare form of cancer. And he got a lot of his former teammates to kind of help out. As you can see on this list, Dexter McDougal, a couple anonymous there. Brent Selleck gave him $1,000. Najee Good gave him there, and then the big boy we were just talking about, Mr. J.J. Watt, ends out that one with a $10,000 donation. Now, with that being said, that's not the only thing going on, because as I was sitting there saying, like, we take care of our own in Philadelphia. So Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are trying to launch a new foundation movement to fight like Berman to raise $500K for the the former Eagle. Obviously, didn't have a big role. Was more of a second, third string linebacker, special teams type guy. But it's one of those things. Like I said last night, man. We take care of our own. The Shield. Anyone who's played for the Shield, your alumni brothers typically do look out for you, as long for the most part. Then the guys are typically on the up and up. But it's another rough thing to kind of go through, to see young men such as Brian to be dealing with this, having to sell off his worldly possessions just to be able to have an attempt to fight this rare form of cancer that he's contracted. So thoughts with Brian and his family. Big shout out to JJ Watt, to Brent Selleck, to his other former teammates that have donated either publicly or privately to help Brian along in this fight.
I will say this, man. The thing about a guy like Jalen Hurts, it's how he sees people as people. It's how he realizes, man, my influence, my reach is so incredibly long and stretched so far. I like how he says, okay, I appreciate what Brent Selleck, and I appreciate, former teammates, even JJ Watt. But I know what Roman is facing. I know what he's facing. So let's start a movement. And I think since then, it's up to over $50,000 at this point. I don't know what Mr. Lurie is going to do. And I'm not putting pressure on Mr. Lurie to do anything, but I know he's going to do something. Sometimes, here's the thing. Sometimes it ain't the amount of money that you can help give. It's who you know that can help this person to say, hey, I get it when it comes to cancer, man, and rare forms of cancer. These doctors do incredible jobs. But sometimes you can have a doctor that say, hey, this is what he's going to need. This is what it's going to take. He needs to be in my hospital. I need to be performing on him, because sometimes our platforms give us opportunities even to show who we are as people. And Jalen Hurts is an incredible human being. And J.J. Watt and Brent Selleck and all those guys are. But it's what Jalen did. It's not that he did it. He's like, no, man, I get what we're doing. But let's start a movement, man. Let's put all our monies together and our minds together. And I know he said 500,000. It's probably going to end up being in the millions, because Brahman, what he's going to end up being, and obviously we hoping he beat his rare form of cancer. Be like a Dickie V and those guys. Become like faces, because I think sometimes we forget how, we don't forget, but cancer is, man, it's a killer, man. This is one of those things that most people that even dealt with, people in their family have dealt with cancer, certain forms of it. But I give credit to everybody involved. I give credit to former players, current players, future players, because sometimes as athletes, we get it right. And this is how we get it right. We get it right when we go, man, football is a game, and we love it. We appreciate what it's done for us, our families, our livelihoods. But this right here is real life. How can we make sure it's like a Howie Roseman effect? Howie Roseman knows, you see how I treat veterans? Them guys coming up, they know what to expect because of how I'm treating these veterans. They know, you do right by me, I'm going to do right by you. Well, Jalen Hurts is saying, man, let's have the Jalen Hurts effect. Let's not just do the minimum, because he needs more than that. He needs far beyond, because we don't know, man. For those who don't know, man, when you talk a regular surgery at a hospital with no insurance could cost $60,000, something crazy. Getting treated with chemo and all different things, who know, man, you get up to the thousands, hundreds of thousands quick. So I just give a lot of credit to Jalen. You talked about it last night, Steven. It's how Jalen Hurts goes about his business. He said, look, man, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be impactful. And it's not to say, look at Jalen. No, man, look at what we can do. Jalen knows when I speak, people listen, man. I'm going to get Philly, the city, to come out and help this man. I'm going to use every resource, friend, colleague. I know he got endorsements. I'm going to use my voice to do everything I possibly can to help this man. And that's the least I can do. Is Jalen saying, look at me? He said, no, look at us. I don't think he want no credit for it. He said, no, we're gonna start this movement. And I'm just reading the article saying it's over. It says that 53,000. It said you got the GoFundMe has been created to assist Brahman with expenses arising from his treatment. As of this post, more than 50,000 has been raised. Former teammate JJ Watt has given him 10,000. So yeah, so it's the least we can do, man. And like I say, man, respect to everybody involved. JJ being his future, being a former teammate from the Texans, obviously. Emmanuel Acho using his platform and his voice to get it out there. That's when we're doing it right. And like I said, man, Brian, man, listen, man, we praying for you too, man. We're gonna do all we can on the fan in the end, and every platform we got to make sure people know. And whenever we can get whenever we do get like a QR code or something, we'll put it in the description as well so people can click on it when they see this on YouTube or different things. But yeah, JJ, Brent, Jalen, man, respect to y'all, man, because you have to be willing to be interrupted in your life, your daily life, to understand the needs of people. That's understanding the need. Listen, Super Bowls, Pro Bowls, Hall of Fames, they're going to fade. You're going to be remembered for what you did for your fellow man. This is how you do it, and I respect everybody involved.
I do too, and I don't think more can be said about this, but obviously, hopefully, StreamYard clips this little segment so we can make sure we spread it out more through reels and things of that nature, and spread the word as far as we can. We're not, we're not Emmanuel Ocho, we're not JJ Watt, Jalen Hurts, Brent Selleck, Dexter McDougal, any of these guys. We're not, this is just our platform. And I hope that anyone who could potentially donate anything, big, large, small, public or private, please go find the GoFundMe and please do so. But another silliness, we were talking about just the nonsense that comes out of some of these players' mouths. So I wanted to get your thought on this one. That Jamar Chase reportedly said Chiefs Patrick Mahomes is without Travis Kelce is Kirk Cousins with a headband. Now listen, as funny as that headline is, I would have to respectfully disagree with that. I mean, listen, I know Travis is one of the better tight ends in the league that we have today, but I think it's already been proven that Patrick does more with less than a lot of the quarterbacks, now currently, even in the past. Like he's a multiple-time Super Bowl winner for a reason. I don't know if that's if that is Mr. Chase's way of sending some shots, sitting there saying that it's the Bengals' time to shine or not. I can't answer that question. But man, is that funny, because we were just talking about Kirk Cousins last night, and he wishes he had the swag that that Patty Mahomes has. What do you think about this one, man? You think Mr. Chase is just talking the talk? What are your thoughts, brother?
I think that Jamar Chase is going to bat for his quarterback, Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase has earned the right to say whatever he wants, the caliber of player he is. Triple Crown last year. Well, what is Joe Burrow without you, Jamar? What is Joe Burrow without you? Huh? What is Joe Montana without Jerry Rice? Or Steve Young without Jerry Rice? I'm just saying, like, when we get to saying these type things, this is what makes it sound crazy. Every great quarterback had a great player around him, or great players around him, right? Mm-hmm. But we want to equate them to something when you take those players away. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes got, I think he got it like 32,000 yards passed. So I think Travis Kelce is at like 11,000. So just take it so now he's at 20,000. Here's the thing: take all the yards that you've given Joe Burrow. Take you away from Joe Burrow. Who is Joe Burrow? He all right. He okay, right? Patrick Mahomes can win with anybody because people thought he was only good. Remember we had Tyreek Hill? How many Super Bowls he won as Tyreek? He won 2, right? Travis Kelce, arguably the greatest tight end ever when you look at what he's done, taking nothing away from Gronk, and Shannon Sharp and those guys that won it all. But to say that Patrick Mahomes is Kirk Cousins, that's what you think he is? That's some high praise for Kirk. Kirk Cousins at home, hey, they compare me to Patrick Mahomes. No, they're not. That is Jamar Chase. Sometimes, Steven, it's a slow news day. Ain't nothing going on. You know what it is? Jamar Chase is tired of talking about Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. That's what it is. Stop asking me about them. You know what? What? Patrick Mahomes, you take Travis Kelce away, he's Kirk Cousins with a headband on. What? What you just say? You heard me. All I'm saying is this. Patrick Mahomes is a lot of things, right? Does he sound like Kermit the Frog when he talks? Yeah. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But Patrick Mahomes, like him or don't like him, he the truth now. Patrick Mahomes is the truth. Do he do things that no other quarterback can do, like behind the back passes, no look passes, roll to the right, throw back to the left, pick for a touchdown in the Super Bowl? Bet that won't happen no more. But come on, Jamar. Look, man, once again, we just talked about Bryce talking about, his former team. And we talked about, Chauncey talking about his former team. Just talk about your team, man. just talk about your team. I know what this is really about. Jamar Chase knows that last year the hype started with Josh Allen, and this gonna be his MVP season. Well, since they're not going back to any Super Bowls anytime soon, because who played defense for Cincinnati? I'll wait because I don't know either. At least I can help my quarterback get an MVP, because you don't even got to be first team All Pros anymore to win MVPs. That's because of Josh Allen. So I can respect who it's coming from because it's Jamar Chase, but the statements are idiotic. They just, come on, man. Like, Kirk Cousins is not playing football again. Okay. I'm tired of hearing about Kirk Cousins. He should have never been a Falcon. The world's going on, man. Could have got Sam Darnold, anybody. God, dog. And here's the thing, right? I'm like, Jamar, you know who Kirk Cousins is? Yeah, he played for the Falcons. He don't. He did. He don't. He drives a van. People respect the fact, and he really drives a van, by the way. Not AJ Brown. That's not his real car. He's just showing up to the stadium with it. His other cars must have been in the shop, or he ain't want to put no gas on him or get him wet or put no snow on him. Whatever. Kirk Cousins.
just knows that we steal cars here in Philadelphia. That's all.
Oh, yeah. But they steal cars in Philadelphia unless you're an Eagle, and they will give it back to you. Man, this is AJ Brown's car.
You got to remember that his car was stolen this offseason too.
Yeah.
So let me just put that one out there. But since you hot about your Atlanta Falcons, let me give you something to smile about when it comes down to them. You know, PPF doing their things, Pro Football Focus. You know, there was only two offensive lines that were top 10 in both pass rushing, pass blocking. That was the Philadelphia Eagles and your Atlanta Falcons. So then when you even break down the overall list, who's the team? We were just talking about the Detroit Lions, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them.
I don't see them. I don't see them. I mean, Philly, Denver, Buffalo, Chicago, Indy, Tampa, Minnesota, Atlanta, the Jets, and I'm guessing that's the Los Angeles Rams, not the Los Angeles Chargers. Here's the thing. Once again, and people say, well, Ben, why are Ben and Steven saying this? I'm just saying. We just had a whole rant about Penei Sewell. God dang. I mean, Tristan Wirfs, the Bucs on there.
Oh, wait, Tristan Wirfs is on it just came out that he is on the PUP list. He had a major arthroscopic surgery, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were keeping it close to the chest until now. So he's probably not going to even see the football field until early September. Might have to adjust that. He gonna be a little rusty the first 6 weeks. So
which means the likelihood of Tristan Wirfs becoming the first team All-Pro in 2025 is going to be very, very slim because he ain't gonna have enough snaps to do that. Penei, I saw an interview today, Penei, of Lane Johnson doing media in his car. He's in his car. He's on his way to work. He's always on his way to work. Got the cutoff sleeves, and he said, listen, man, he about to break the record for the longest tenured Eagle. They think he's going to beat Graham for being the longest tenured Eagle. And he said, I still feel young. I know I'm older, but I still feel young. Penei, Lane Johnson doesn't like two things. He doesn't like opposing, defensive linemen, people wearing the other colors. And he don't like the fact that people think that you are better than him. Now, he can't do nothing about what they say about you. He ain't coming at you. He's coming for the tie. He's coming for that. He's coming for that first team All-Pro.
He's coming for that newly minted award for offensive lineman this year.
Man,
the first one.
Oh, that's what it is.
Listen, after seeing this, man, it's gonna be hard to take it from Lane after this.
You know what?
That's the one bet I'm taking to the bank.
I forgot that award came out, and Lane said, "Oh, they trying me. Oh, so they want to wait for the award to come out." Till I'm in my mid-30s. Well, guess what? Ain't nobody blocking like me. Ain't nobody protecting like me. Ain't nobody winning like me. Ain't nobody doing it like me. Now, he ain't gonna come out and say it because Lane is he's not gonna give you any bulletin board material. But just look at the way he plays. And like I said, sometimes they want to give it to the younger guy because they think he got more years. Does Penei Sewell have more years left than Lane? Yeah, maybe. That's easy to say. But Lane is saying, Lane is kind of looking at like Tom Brady. No, but Lane is looking like Tom Brady. Lane is saying, Tom Brady used to say, if they're better than me, put them up against me. Tom Brady's last Super Bowl was against Kansas City. Who won that Super Bowl? That would be Tom Brady, which means, yes, he lost to Nick. Yes, he lost to Eli twice. But you know what he told Patrick? Not you, though. Your lasting memory of me is going to be me getting that L. You can take that L and me getting that dub. Listen, we're not making this about Penei and Lane, but Lane probably got a picture of Penei Sewell in his locker to say, "Hey, Penei, they need to start. Listen, they got tight end you. I know they got. I know they do. I know the D linemen do it. They got like a D lineman retreat. They do.
I'm gonna say it like this because I got into it with a guy on Twitter this week, right? And it was one of these other accounts that had posted a video, and it was a safety throwing Penei Sewell to the ground. You don't see that on Lane's tape. He ain't getting thrown to the ground by no safeties. He ain't getting thrown to the ground by no cornerback. Me and you have both openly agreed this. If we're talking about the two highly touted young tackles in this league, it's without a doubt a Penei Sewell. It's without a doubt a Tristan Wirfs. But they still ain't better than what Lane is doing right now. Lane has shown it through his work. I mean, a lot of people get upset. They think he jumps. He knows the timing of his offensive line. He knows when the ball comes out. So maybe he does cheat a little bit. What's the phrase? You if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. How many times does he get called for a false start? He doesn't. He knows when to start his kick. And that's why a lot of guys don't get the better hand of him, because he's been in that system so long. He knows when to get off. He doesn't get called for bad penalties. And every once in a while he may get beat on the inside because he's still protecting the outside because of how people attack our offensive line. So it's one of these things, man. I think that, which with age comes wisdom and understanding. And I think Lane is like that fine wine you've been waiting on. He's just getting ready to crack it open now. So listen, I think he does have at least 2 or 3 more, all pro years, top lineman in the NFL years in him. Him recently extending his contracts also makes me believe that the Eagles believe it as well. So, but I think on the other side of the things, that's got to be an exciting thing for you to kind of look at when you have a Michael Penix Jr., when you have a Bijan Robinson down there, that you have one of the best offensive lines in the league that doesn't get enough credit because of everything else that's going on down there in Atlanta. So, I know you like to bury your team a lot for a lot of reasons, but this is a reason to give you a smile.
Oh yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it because you just said Michael Penix. The lefty, the lefty, going back to being able to have that mobility in the pocket, being able to deliver the football. If Kyle Pitts can show up to the party, man, with Drake London and company, we got a really, really good. They had our it's another list that came out. It came out yesterday. They did the top 10 offensive group from quarterback, running back, tight end, receivers. Obviously, number 1 was Philly. Philly's number 1. That goes without saying. I want to say Atlanta was like number 9. So we was number 9. Now, not saying it's going to mean anything, but we was ranked number 9 as far as like offensive skill positions as a whole. Drake London had a really, really good year last year. I want to see Kyle Pitts coming to his own, man. I know he's never ever going to be known for the type of blocker that he is, but the way they would utilize him. For those of you who don't know when it comes to Kyle Pitts, they put him on the single receiver side as a receiver. No, you don't put a tight end out wide on the single receiver side. You're not going to get open on number 1, number 2 corners like that. So we'll see what they're going to do for him this year. Raheem Morris, head coach, you're going to have to find a plan. But, yeah, when I saw that list, of the top offensive lines, I said, dang, Detroit got not 1 but 2 running backs. Penei Sewell is the premier. Lane was like, nah, because when we went through the numbers, man, he wasn't on there for the run blocking. Really? Yeah, like he gets it done. Lane is him. Matter of fact, hold on. I just wanna. How many rushing yards did Jahmyr Gibbs have last year? I'm just gonna go through it. Jahmyr Gibbs had, because he incredible running back, by the way. Jahmyr Gibbs last year, I think he had. They ain't giving it to him. Oh, here it is. Last year, which was the second year, he had 1,400. 12 yards, 16 touchdowns. So him and his sidekick, they went out there. You would think that many yards in production, but it's misleading. That's what and that's all Lane is saying is if we really look at the tape, break it down, not just casually looking. Look at how many times Penei Sewell guys making tackles, getting off of blocks, creating a new line of scrimmage, creating penetration. That's not happening with Lane. That's what Lane is saying. They ain't really watching my tape because my tape is boring because I'm not giving that up. That's one-on-one blocking in the run game, one-on-one pass blocking. That's not with help from the guard. That's not with chipping from the tight end or the running back. That's lane, mano and mano. They don't want that. Ask them. Ask any one of them. Ask Miles, ask Max, ask Micah, ask Nick.
We talked about it with Shane last week. How often Lane gets left on the island? 60% of the time he's on an island. Panay Sewell don't got that. He ain't even at 50%. I remember like 38% of the time he's on an island. Lane is on an island more than half the time. It's not even a conversation anymore. Nope. I get it, and we talked about it before. Like, he takes himself out of, these greatness talk lists and stuff like that. He has been one of the premier offensive tackles over the last 10 years. If we're talking about numbers wise, about protection wise, he doesn't give up big bad sacks. It doesn't happen with Lane. So I just wanted to give you something to smile about, because I seen that your Atlanta Falcons were one of the two units that were both top 10 in pass blocking, top 10 in run blocking. So when I say don't sleep on them in the South, that everyone's already writing the Buccaneers in for that division title, hold up now. They had a good draft. They addressed some needs. There's no confusion with the quarterback situation that this year. Yeah, you got a money leech in the building, but we all know where everything's going. It's Michael Penix's team. We're gonna see how he does year 2 in that system with the weapons he has around him, and one of the best offensive lines in football. So Atlanta Falcons got something to smile about.
Yeah, at least right now we do. Then when they kick the ball off for real, we'll see what happens then. But for right now, we got a nice unit in front of Michael Penix. We'll see how he gels being a starter from week 1.
Now, we were talking about it during last week's show, right? About just the nepotism in sports, but man, it officially came out what Notre Dame's recruiting class was. We'd already mentioned that Plexico Burris' son is going to be there. We already mentioned that Jerome Bettis' son is going to be there. But what Notre Dame just did when they announced this year's class is mind-boggling to me. So now we have Devin Fitzgerald, who is Larry Fitzgerald's son. You got Caden Finley, son of Jermichael Finley. You got Thomas Davis Jr., son of Thomas Davis Sr., also going to be on that class. Plus you got Ike Taylor's son. Plus you got Ryan Clark's son is going to be there. They are redefining nepotism, and they are trying to create a newer version of a dynasty there in South Bend. Is this team that we're looking at over the next few years is finally going to be the team to give Notre Dame those world champions that they've been one of the biggest, best, well-known programs in college football over the last 30 years. There has just been one big thing missing during that time, and it's been getting to that national championship game, winning the national championship. They've gotten there over the past few years, fallen a little short. What do you think with this new recruiting class, what's already there, the culture that's already there? Is this the team that finally becomes a college football dynasty for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, the one I would call it this. I would call it new name legacy, because out of all those players, out of Thomas Davis and Ike Taylor and Plexico Burris and Fitzgerald and Michael Finley and those guys, the only one whose dad actually went to freaking Notre Dame was Jerome Bettis' kid. Jerome Bettis went to Notre Dame. This is what I think. This is what I got to give Marcus Freeman a lot of credit for, the head coach of Notre Dame. Everybody wants to talk about what's the biggest brand in college football. It's Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame is in the ACC contractually. They don't have to play. They don't have to go to the ACC championship game. They get to play their regular season schedule and wait. This is what Marcus Freeman knew. You want legacy? You really want legacy? Yeah. All right, Elijah Burris, Plexico Burris' son. Come on, Notre Dame. All right, All right, Larry Fitzgerald, son, come on over to Notre Dame. All right, Jerry Michael Finley, son, come on over to Notre Dame. Thomas Davis Jr., who went to – so you got a former Georgia Bulldog, son, go to Notre Dame. Michigan State Spartan going to Notre Dame. I think Ike Taylor, I think he went to a HBCU. I cannot remember the school he went to. You talk about Jerry Michael Finley, he went to Texas. Son going to Notre Dame. So you got Georgia, Texas, and Michigan State, and Pitt. You know, and these guys are doing it for this reason alone. Dude, let's do it together. What you mean? We understand what our talent is on all spread across all these schools. Let's do it together. Let's be able to and when it comes to NIL, right? Because this is what ain't nobody talking about. You got all these former Hall of Fame players' sons, you know, from Jerome Bettis, Larry Fitzgerald. He ain't got in yet, but he's gonna get in first ballot. You know, Plaxico Burress won the Super Bowl with the Giants. Thomas Davis had not one, not two, but three ACLs and still went over and had a career he had with beside Luke Kuechly with Carolina. Ike Taylor won a Super Bowl and one of the best cornerbacks that came through Pitt. It's just so many names. Jerry Michael Finley, won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. I thought he was going to be the next great tight end. Injuries kind of got in the way of him. You don't think all their daddies together can help them get NIL deals? You don't think they're putting their minds together? I give Marcus Freeman a lot of credit. Marcus Freeman doing what you're supposed to do, Stephen. Stephen, if me and you are head or position coaches at Notre Dame, I don't got to sell Notre Dame to you. This is Notre Dame. Do you want to come here or not? Now, I'm not saying other schools don't got to sell them. Boston College got to sell it to you. Syracuse got to sell it to you. Michigan State got to sell it to you. Notre Dame's coming off a national championship loss against Ohio State. Let me tell you what they really trying to do, because they ain't fooling me. Marcus Freeman, black man. What has never happened in college football? Black man never won a national championship. You want legacy for real? Help the first black head coach win a national championship in college football. Boy, you are cemented forever. Because one thing about it is, just because your last name is Burris or Bettis or Davis, or Finley, or Fitzgerald, right? Taylor, that don't mean you going pro. Huh? That don't mean you going pro. But you telling me I can have a legacy so strong in South Bend with Notre Dame, I'm going to be good for life? 100%. 100%. And that's what I think that I see with it. Because, and look, and recruiting ain't over now. It's other people's sons that want to give. I've never seen it. I saw Jerry Michael Finley's son when he did his announcement. I was on there with Larry Fitzgerald's son. He said he's going. Look, everybody thought, oh man, Larry Fitzgerald's son, he going to Pitt, right? Going to Notre Dame. Oh, Plaxico Burress, he going to Michigan State, right? He going to Notre Dame. Oh, Jerome Bettis' son going to Notre Dame. That makes sense. Jerry Michael Finley's son, he going to Texas. He going to Notre Dame. Thomas Davis Jr. Is going. He's going to Georgia, right? He's going to Notre Dame. Ike Taylor going to Notre Dame. What is going on? What's going on is brands. I want to take my brand, meaning my last name, and I want to pair it with the biggest brand. What could help me the most? Notre Dame.
Well, you got to think about it. Wow. You got to think about it, Ben. What in the early days that they won multiple times, multiple national championships. They haven't won one since Lou Holtz in 1988. Since who? Oh, right, that guy that we did an interview with a few weeks ago. His name's Ricky Waters. That's the last time that they went to and won a national championship. It's been since 1988. So yes, they are trying to do something that they've been starved for. That the South Bend fans down there have been aching for. They've watched everyone else get their time in the spotlight. It is now becoming full circle. You have all the players there. You have the right culture there. And you said it, man. Like, if they win, regardless of if they become a superstar in the NFL or not, if they win here now at any point in time over the next 4 years, they are cemented, set for life. They'd be probably setting up with coordinator positions to coach after they're done as well. So there's going to be so many opportunities these guys are having. We talk about NIL and things of that nature, and having your dads be all be Pro Bowl level, Super Bowl level, etc. guys that have played in the NFL. I think this sets up Notre Dame very nicely over the next 4 years to not only compete but to get over the hump and claim their first championship since 1988. And I think it's 12. I think if they win, it would be their 12th championship.
Yes, and guess what? I mean, taking nothing away from like Yale and Princeton and those Ivy League teams. Alabama has 16. They're 1. And we talk about respected throughout college football. Notre Dame was number 2 with 11. They get one more, they'll be 12. I think Michigan got 10. I think Ohio State got 9. What I'm telling y'all is this. Everybody think that Notre Dame is just, oh, man, they're the team that lose in the national championship. Marcus Freeman knew, man, I got to get some star power in here. I got to get some genetics in here. I got to get some legacy in here. Oh, he did it. He did it, and he's continuing to do it. And like I say, people say, oh, man, they ain't going to be good just because their daddies was good. They got a shot. They got a shot. It's one of those people saying, hey, man, you know the Tiger Woods kid play golf? Really? Tiger Woods kid plays golf? What is he going to do? That's like saying, hey, man, I saw Chris Brown's son, man. He can sing and dance. Really? Chris Brown's son can sing and dance? Certain things is just in the gene pool. Beyonce's her daughter, Blue Ivy, she's a dancer now. She's what do you think she's going to do? Construction? What do you think she's going to want to? And like I said, Steve, a certain thing. Look, we had Justin Marion on here. He plays quarterback, but he's a Maryman. He got the gene. He want to go to Maryland. So all I'm saying is, to get that much, to get that many players in the same recruiting class, because guys, the legacy guys. I mean, I played with a guy named Ernest Graham when I was at Florida. His son Miles Graham, he plays a different position. Plays linebacker. He's at Florida. Vernell Brown played with him at Florida. Right, his son right now is at Florida. Why? Because sometimes you go, I want what my daddy had. I want to continue. Listen, at the University of Florida, the royal family is the Jacksons. Willie Jackson Sr. was one of 2 black guys to integrate Florida. His son, Willie Jackson Jr., went on to be a first-team All-American, Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame, University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame. Willie Jackson's brother, Terry, was a part of the first national championship of Florida in 96. Now, Khalil Jackson, the son of Willie, the son of Willie Jr., the grandson of Willie Sr., and the nephew of Terry is their receiver now. All wore 22 because that's legacy. Guess what Burris and Bettis and you know what I'm saying? I mean, and Taylor and Fitzgerald and Finley and Thomas, they saying bump that. Daddy, we love you, we respect you. I want Notre Dame. Because guess what? When you tell somebody you went to Notre Dame, people say, you went to D Notre Dame? Yep. Rudy? Leprechaun? Touchdown Jesus? Yeah. Okay. And look, and like I said, and the mere fact that Notre Dame hasn't won a national championship since Lou Holtz. Most kids think, you talking about Lou Holtz, the guy that used to do announcing? Oh, yeah, Lou Holtz that won that championship that went on to go to South Carolina to then go to the announcing booth who charges like $100,000 for speaking engagement. You can't even afford Lou Holtz to come speak at your event. But yeah, I when I saw it, I understood it. And Marcus Freeman says, look, man, if I'm trying to create a legacy, let's do it with legacy players. That just makes sense to me. And I mean, you're going to be watching, man. I mean, to say Fitzgerald with the touchdown catch. Burris with the touchdown catch. Oh, Bettis with the touchdown run. Oh, Taylor on the pick. Because Jeremiah Finley's son, for those, he played receiver, and he's nasty. I've seen some of that boy is. So, yeah, I mean, Thomas Davis' son, I don't know what position he played. Listen, Thomas Davis, who went on to be an all-pro linebacker to show you how good he was, played safety at Georgia. That's how good he was. How do I know? Sorry, Thomas, I got it. 2002 is the only Florida-Georgia game, Georgia-Florida, to you Georgia fans, that was played that night. My junior year, 2002. I was blessed enough to catch the game-winning touchdown pass against who? Thomas Davis in Florida-Georgia game. It's a picture. Hold on. If I can find this thing, it's crazy. Like old times. Hold on. If it comes up, you're going to laugh. Let's see. Like old times, then let's see, Florida, Georgia game. If it comes up, it's a pick. It's a picture of it. I can't find it right now. Hold on. Florida, Georgia 2002. Florida, Georgia game. Cause I ain't never met Thomas Davis. My son has. My son has met Thomas Davis in person. I took a picture with him. And hold on. 2002, Gainesville Sun. Let's see. Gainesville Sun. Come on. Gainesville Sun. Like old times. I mean, if your son wanted to go to Notre Dame, I mean, oh my God, watch this. Well, sometimes you just get it right. I got to turn this thing off. Okay. You finna laugh.
I'm gonna pull you about big one.
You see that right there? That's me. You see that hand right there? That's Thomas Davis. So that is me catching the game-winning touchdown pass against Thomas Davis, and the headline says "like old times." So Thomas, I know you hate it, but yeah, man, it's. Whenever I get to sit down with Thomas Davis, I'm gonna tell him, if you're covering a tight end, never. I have my hand on the ground in the dirt. Never come right on. He came right. We had a long drive going, Steven, and he did the Cardinal sin. He came and stood right over me. I said, "Don't do that." And all I did, it's crazy. It's an all go. All I did, I gave him a little swim move to get off the line, and I'm 6'5". Thomas probably like 6'1". He throws. I mean, Grace Grossman throws it up like an alley. I catch it. And Thomas still made a freaking play on the ball. That's how freaking athletic he is. But yeah, that's it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like old times. Thomas gonna hate me if he see this. But hey, man, I don't mean no harm. But yeah, shout out to Marcus Freeman. To me, that's what recruiting is. Recruiting is not who I can get, but who I get attract eyes for this year and future years. Because guess what? Other NFL players, whether you was a Hall of Famer, good player, okay player, they're looking at that. Saying, hey, man, Ryan Clark's son went there. Got to go to a national championship. Hey, Plaxico, Thomas, Larry Fitzgerald, Jerome Bettis, Ike Taylor, Thomas Davis, Jeremiah Finley, God dog. I mean, that stuff sells. Because guess what? If they have success, which we think they will, what is that going to do for future players? Hey, yo, Marcus, listen, my son is a junior in high school. He throws that thing. He could throw that thing. If you're looking for a Troupe to add to the legacy, hey, he can go to South Bend. I ain't got no problem with Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, that's one of the places I'll allow him to go.
Oh yeah. My son. Man, let me say this, man. Let me just go ahead and kill this myth. You know, I cannot stand Georgia, but that was me. I played in Florida. I can't stand Georgia, Tennessee, Florida State. You know, I can't stand them. I can't stand Georgia. Georgia. People say, Ben, would you rather your son go to Florida State or Georgia? Florida State. I cannot stand Georgia. If my son got recruited to go to Georgia, he's going to Georgia. Hey, man, I'm wearing Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to like it. I'm not going to like it. And I'm only going to wear it when I got to wear it. I ain't going to be walking around with no Georgia. I'm not going to be doing that. But that's kind of what happens in recruiting no one talks about. Some of these coaches got a sense of humor, man. Hey, man, let's recruit. Now, check this out. I got a cousin. I've never met him. His name is Israel Troupe. He went to Georgia. So I said, y'all already had a Troupe go to Georgia. So we made up for it. I ain't never met him in person, but hey, man, Notre Dame is kind of like the Yankees. You either love them or you cannot stand them. And I don't know how they got like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't really done nothing to nobody. But I will be watching because this is such a unique situation to have this many legacy players, even though the only legacy one is Jerome Bettis' kid, to have Fitzgerald and Finley and Davis and Taylor and Burris and Hack. Who else do you want? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, exactly. And
it's like Pokemon, they're trying to collect them all.
I ain't mad at it. I think it's great for recruiting. But just like I know, Steven, we said if it works, it's going to be great branding. But if it doesn't work, that's the part too. It could, and you hope it does. You hope it does. I don't got no ill will for nobody. Listen, I'm a fan of college football players first, a fan of college football second, and my team third. So it's college football players, college football, then Florida. So I'm out because I could be a fan of players. So I could be a fan of a player that goes to Georgia. I'm not a fan of Georgia. That's not happening. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be something really, really unique to see. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see what happens, man. But for one recruiting cycle, though, Steven, oh man, you won that round. You won this round. You won.
They definitely did, man, and without a doubt. So we're gonna see how it plays out over the next few years, but they got to get it now. They got to get over the hump and win that national championship now.
Yep.
For their own sake, but like we were talking about with the Ravens, no more excuses down there in South Bend. You got everything you need now. So we'll see if they're able to right the ship and bring back the first championship since '88. But
since '88,
came across this, since we're talking about the '80s, right? Do you realize that in 1982? We had a kicker beat out 3 quarterbacks and a running back for MVP. One of them was Marcus Allen. He beat out his own quarterback, Joe Theismann, Dan Fouts, and Danny White. But what would we have to see in today's NFL for a kicker to win an MVP over, quarterbacks and your other position players? Like, what would a kicker have to kick 50 field goals in a season and not miss one of them or something?
Yep, I was about to say he's going to have to be in the 95 percentile for kicks, and this is how he does it. He has, if it's 17 games, he has to kick at least half of those have to be game winners by him. So you got to kick the game winner. And I know this is crazy. I know it's regular season. Yeah, if he's giving you, in the 95% on all field goals and he has to be 100% on extra points made. Got to be 100. But the field goals made, he's got to be in the 95 percentile, and he got to kick at least. If he don't got to be half, but if he gives us just 6 game winners. Because that means he was the difference in those games. But to validate it, his team has to go to the Super Bowl. He kicks the game winner in the Super Bowl. Just because
I think it has to be a playoff team or a prestige.
Yes. It has to be a team that is one of the. They have to be a team that's a part of the NFL, like makeup, like Kansas City, like Philly, like Baltimore.
You
can't play. You can't play for the Browns. You can't play for the Falcons. You can't play for the no. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I played for the Raiders that had Janikowski. Janikowski was a first round pick by the freaking Raiders. So I think I think it's time for 2 things to happen to the NFL. It's not gonna happen. A kicker needs to be in a position. Justin Tucker had the best shot to do it, even though he's dealing with his stuff now. A kicker needs to be in a position to be an MVP. A tight end or a receiver needs to be in a position to be an MVP. Not that they got to win it. But it's just the fact that a kicker winning MVP is going to send shock. What? That's the only way we're going to respect them for real. Because a kicker – it's like a closer in baseball. You just expect everybody to be, what's the old boy name for the Yankees all those years? Mariano
Rivera.
I mean, you just expect him to because here's the thing, you only remember kickers when they miss. This guy, what? Because you don't see him. So yes, I would love to see a kicker win it. And you know who paved the way for that? Josh Allen, 2nd team All-Pro. Right? So y'all don't got to like it. Never. Once again, I want y'all to go through the history books of the NFL. I want you to find me one MVP. That was a quarterback that was a running back that wasn't a first-team All-Pro. Because to be the MVP of the league, I got to be the best player at my position that year, right? I'm the MVP, right? So all I'm saying is that kicker got to be a first-team All-Pro. Can't be second team, can't be honorable mention, can't be third team. You got to kick at least 6 game winners. You got to be in the 95 percentile of, as far as like field goals. And you got to be on a perennial playoff team that is highly respected, not just geographically, but nationally. And if you can do all those things, and I got to say this, you got to be likable. You got to have personality to you. You can't be a golly gee whiz guy. Nope. You're gonna have the little. I ain't saying you got to be dancing and all that, but you got to have some swag to you. Because could you handle being it? I mean, you're gonna be the national spokesman for every kicker that ever came through here. MVP as a kicker, wow, you got to be phenomenal. But that can happen. I do think you got kickers in today's NFL that's more than built to do that. So we'll see. But yeah, Vinatieri comes to mind. He was that good. I can't remember the guy that played for the Colts that one year that he wasn't missing anything. Did he miss one the first game of the year? So it's Justin Tucker, the Grammaticas. I remember them because you don't remember Morton Anderson and those guys. You've had some really, really good kickers come through. Like Janikowski, who probably gonna potentially be in the Hall of Fame one day. But yeah, you beat out Joe Theismann.
The guy here in Philadelphia right now, he's second all time for the longest field goal ever. Obviously, the aforementioned Justin Tucker beat him, but he holds the NFL record for most points in postseason play. You got to give Jake Elliott some cred there. I don't think he'll ever be an MVP just because sometimes he does miss those wonky kicks that he has no business missing.
Yeah,
but he's another one I think you should have like an honorable mention there because Jake Elliott is an unsung hero in Philadelphia. We stole him off of Cincinnati's practice squad. No one wants to talk about that. Cincinnati didn't even like him enough.
Listen. Cincinnati has quality players. They have really, really good players. They have, the Corey Denham's of the world, the TJ Hushman's out of the world, the Chad Johnson of the world, the Carson Palmer's of the world, the Rudy Johnsons of the world. Problem is they got the worst front office. It is awful. So when we talking Cincinnati, we're not talking players. I mean, but Steven, but I saw a list today. PFF, I think, did the top pass rush in the NFL. You know who was in the top 5? Trey Hendrickson. 35 sacks the last 2 years. First team All-Pro the last 2 years. I think it was Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, and who was number 4? Micah, Max, Miles. Who was number 4? Nick Bosa, I think, was number 5. I think Trey Hendrickson was number 6. He was not. So it's going to be hard to justify giving you top 5 money when you ain't even ranked in the top 5. You got 35 sacks in 2 years. Could you imagine if Jalen Carter had 35 sacks in 2 years or Nolan Smith had 35 sacks in 2 years?
And you're kind of going right into my next point of it because, Jalen Carter's argument one of the best defensive tackles his first few years in the league. Everyone's sitting there saying he's Aaron Donald-esque, X, Y, and Z. But somehow he's not even a top 5 ranked defensive lineman in this league. And it goes to my point where I'm going to go on with this one. This is one of those posts that I like to throw out there. I like to throw out these silly posts and people making silly comments. And some of them actually are spot on. How are the Eagles a super team when it's when it's time to credit Jalen Hurts, but when it's time to compare Eagles players to other players in NFL teams, they ain't a super team no more. The only one who routinely gets his love at this point right now is Saquon. AJ Brown. We already talked about he's one of the top 3. He's not the top 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about receiver grouping, it's always the Cincinnati Bengals before anyone mentions the Philadelphia Eagles. So how is it when we're ripping Jalen down, we got a super team, but when we spread it all out, they're not? So which one is it? I'm not getting the logic that goes into this. You know, we have the best line in football, but Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata aren't the best tackle tandems in the NFL, huh? What are we talking about here?
You know what? Jalen Hurts is so used to this, and people will do anything and everything to discredit Jalen. They're going to do anything and everything to say, first it is, then it isn't. First he is, then he isn't. Oh, yeah, he only won a Super Bowl because of this. Oh, he only won Super Bowl MVP because of this. Oh, he's this and that. Jalen Carter was a second-team All-Pro in 2024, right? Jalen Carter is one of the top interior D linemen in football. Jalen Carter is him. And here's the thing, right? You talked about it last night. Listen, these sports writers, these beat writers, these analysts, these journalists, these columnists, they biased. They are extremely biased, as we all are. But their bias is showing in a way that, like, y'all not making no sense. So let me get this straight. You're telling me with Patrick Mahomes is doing everything he's doing with Kansas City, he's that guy. He can do more with less, right? Jalen Hurts already went to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's been the one. Jalen Hurts has been the two. Jalen Hurts has more Super Bowls by himself than Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. All these guys y'all want to do. All these guys y'all want to done. Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. He lost. Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl. Lost. He got the revenge. He got the revenge that lost last year. If the Eagles are a super team, it's because of Jalen. It's because of him. You don't believe me? You think the San Francisco because of Brock Purdy? No. It's just that Brock Purdy's there. He do not make him super at all. Jalen Hurts makes you super. Why? In the biggest game of the year, the most watched game in football, who was the best player on the field? Jalen Hurts. He did it twice. Remember when LeBron James and them first played against the first time they played against Golden State and they lost? And LeBron led all players in all categories: minutes played, points scored, rebounds, assists. Somebody wanted to give him the MVP in a losing effort. Jalen Hurts outplayed the best player in football twice. Well, he only played him twice. It's on the biggest stage.
We're talking about the Super Bowl. Everyone forgets in 2023 that he went to Kansas City and beat them there too. Everyone forgets about that game. I don't think he outplayed him per se, but they beat him. So in the 3 times he's faced them, he's 2-3 with a Super Bowl championship.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this, Steven. When we first got into this business and we was looking at podcasters and content creators from afar, it looked like they was doing something we could. Oh man, that's awesome, man. That's crazy. I wish I could do that. Then when you get in the business, it's not that you don't respect them. You just look at them different. You're like, oh, okay. Because now you know what they're doing. Now you know how they do it. And it's not that you jealous of them. It's not that you feel a type way. You just know there's nothing they do that we can't. When it comes to Jalen Hurts, I'm going to keep saying this. There's nothing a quarterback in this league can do that he can't. There's a lot of things Jalen can do that they can't. It's a lot of things he can do. A lot of them. And to me, I've never understood that.
Yards. Yes, he can. He just doesn't have to.
Listen. Jalen Hurts cares about, you know who cares about throwing 4,000, 5,000? Caleb Williams. He could be the first quarterback. And who cares if you're not winning anything? You know who let us know that throwing for a bunch of yards was irrelevant? Matthew Stafford when he was in Detroit. He was doing it every year. Were they going to the playoffs? No. And sometimes I throw for a bunch of yards because I have to. That's the only way that keeps us in games. I'm telling you, Jalen Hurts does the 2 things that no one wants to talk about: winning percentage and Super Bowl appearances. He's been to 2. He's 1-1. Most of these players now thought that the person that's going to keep them from winning Super Bowls was Patrick. No, it's Jalen. No one saw that happening. We thought it was going to be Lamar. We thought it was going to be. One thing to know. I'm gonna keep saying this. LeBron James is one of the most influential players you ever seen. So was Kobe. So was Mike. Right. But the biggest influence I've ever seen came out of Philly. His name was Allen Iverson. Just ask people. Ask people. When a guy that small, that dominant, won MVP. Mike was in the league when he won it. Shaq, Kobe, they was in the league. Kevin Garnett, all of them. Paul Pierce, name them. And I'm telling y'all, no one thought it was going to be a guy from Philly again. Here he comes. Here comes a guy from Philly disrupting the whole flow. Hey, man, it's supposed to be Patrick. And now they're just trying to discredit him. But guess who don't care? Jalen Hurts sits back and go, they can say whatever they want. They can write whatever they want. They can assume everything. They don't play. They do not play. And guess what? On the biggest stage in the biggest game, I was the best player twice. How did it? We were just talking about kickers. How did Kansas City win their first Super Bowl against Philly? Guess who Kansas City is scared to death of right now? Philly. They ain't worried about nobody in the AFC. They ain't worried about Justin. They ain't worried about Joe. They ain't worried about Lamar. Lamar. They sure ain't worried about Josh. They ain't worried. Houston could have beat them. They weren't about Jalen. Both of them. They weren't about Jalen Hurts on defense, Jalen Carter on Jalen Hurts on offense, Jalen Carter on defense. Y'all don't got to listen. If they're not a super team, why are you bringing it up? If they're not a super team, why is that even an article? Because how can they be super without their Superman? That would be the quarterback.
Now I showed you the one side of it. Now here's the absolutely ridiculous article on the other side of it that is probably the biggest clickbait article I've ever seen, right? Apparently,
oh my God.
Apparently, this is the Mr. Sam Scott must have the best weed that has ever been found on planet Earth and decided to write this up as an article. Listen, Jalen Hurts ain't going anywhere anytime soon. They're not shaking up their roster. They're not looking to move to another quarterback. They know what they got. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's not even the top 10 paid quarterback in the league. They know exactly what they're doing, as we were already talking about. Listen, he knows how to win. He knows how to put their team in position, and it's not about the stats. It's not about how many touchdowns he has or doesn't have. He does everything within the team concept, and is why he is such a rare player at that position.
So that's what we're doing? It's that slow of a news day. Listen. When people say people don't write stuff for clicks, yes, they do. They say stuff, write stuff. Yes, it, so Jalen Hurts is a trade candidate to shake things up. Shake it up for what? No. You only thing you need to be shaking is whatever you got in your cup, and it's working too. Shake it up, drink it. Here's the thing, right? And I mean this. If Jalen Hurts is a trade candidate, everybody is. On every other team. Lamar is, Joe is, because they don't do what he does. Jalen Hurts has killed the myth of this regular season performance stuff. Okay. Jalen Hurts says, did I win the game? Yeah. Did I win the game? Yeah. So what are we talking about? Yeah, but did I win the game? Yeah. I've been a second team All-Pro already. You know who won the MVP that year? That was Lamar. But when Josh Allen was a second team All-Pro, guess who was the first team All-Pro that year? Lamar. He didn't win it. So maybe I'm not y'all cup of tea, man. I just don't fit y'all narratives. But here's the thing, right? Do you think Howie Roseman could keep his job if he trade? And what are we? You get fired for stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? Man, people crazy. Y'all trying to get me riled up.
Eagles fans was crazy before. They would be down there with pitchforks and dummies with the likeness of Howie Roseman on a noose. It'd be crazy.
Jalen Hurts did.
There would be riots for that.
Steven, Jalen Hurts did what is very, very hard to do in Philly. Win them over at quarterback. Donovan did it. Michael Vick did it for like a season or so. Matt Barkley didn't do it. Right? Jalen Hurts is the reason why Carson Wentz is no longer an Eagle. They got Nick Foles out of town. Carson is the starter again. They jab Jalen. They go back to a Super Bowl. Jalen is a starter. They lose. Jalen Hurts is sitting back saying, y'all, listen, man. Jalen, listen, back in the day, CeeLo Green, Mr. Art Barkley said, Mr. You make me crazy. He was in a group called Goody Mob. He said, you don't want to hear the truth. So I'm going to lie to you, make it sound fly to you. The truth is, Jalen Hurts is him. I'm going to lie. Jalen Hurts ain't him. He's the worst. He's the worst quarterback you ever seen. They will be better. No. Everybody thought that when Andy Reid left Philly, he took the culture with him. He didn't. They had to rebuild now. They had to rebuild. They had to get the hell away from Chip. Get away from Chip. Good God. Get him out of there, right? Could you imagine if a guy like Jalen Hurts didn't play for Philly, he would be winning somewhere else. Because name a time he hasn't won. Did he win it? Did he win in Alabama? Yep. Did he win in Oklahoma? Yeah. So what are we talking about? When did he just started winning? No, he has not. He's from Texas. He went to Alabama. He was 26-2. He was 26-2 as a starter. But they wanted to go to the air raid. Won the SEC championship, won the national championship, got pulled in the first half, comes to Philly and says, if I ever become the starter, I'm not giving it back. What? If I ever become the starter? You don't believe me? Ask CeeDee Lamb who he would rather have a quarterback, Jalen or Dak. Because y'all don't want to start those type of conversations, man. Jalen Hurts is him. You don't got to like it because guess what? What they say, they don't like me, but they won't fight me. You ain't gonna run up on Jalen. Don't let his cool come to me to fool you. That man can squat 800 pounds. You don't want that. You don't want those problems. Stop it.
On another note, yesterday was the Eagles' 92nd birthday. So we shout out to them.
Yeah, man.
As we were going to wrap this one up, always a fun one with Mr. Ben Troupe.
Yep.
Pushing against the time limit here as always, Ben.
It's all good. It's all good.
Parting words before we shut this thing down for another episode of The Fan in the End.
It's always a pleasure being on with you, Steve. Until you beat writers. I mean, Steven already put it out there. We don't like the football writers because they don't know how to vote. Now y'all beat writers. What are y'all doing? Are y'all sitting in these production meetings saying, hey man, no more article, Jalen Hurts gonna be traded. Run it. No, don't run that. What are we anyway.
We're gonna be like Jake Paul and we're gonna start suing these guys for slander.
Oh yeah. Jake Paul don't like the fact that Jake Paul, listen, you rank 14th about as much as I'm ranked number 1 in the heavyweight division. Stop the nonsense, man. But no, man, it's always a fun one on The Fan in the End. Well, man, listen, we have fun over here. We talk sports, but we always ready to call out idiotic statements and phrases when we see it. And if we catch you, Penny Sue, keep doing what you're doing. But Lane coming for you, baby. He's coming for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, another fun one. And you're right, Ben. Like when we see BS, we call BS. If you happen to be on the other end of it, I'm sorry. Maybe you should not give us ammunition to fire back. I'm sorry. Respectfully, we love y'all. we love the support. We love the hate. Listen, I love it all. I love doing this program with you here. We're going to be doing a whole lot more fun stuff. Apparently I have a package that should be coming to me the next few days. So we are going to be announcing some fun little giveaways that we're going to be doing here on the Florida, the South Florida Tribune Media Network here, regardless if it's here on the Fan on the End, if it's with our other programming, Fired Up, Inside the Pigskin. We're going to be having a lot of fun here. So guys, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, Facebook, YouTube, X for the South Florida Tribune. Other than that, another fun one in the books here. I am Steve. He is Ben. This was another episode of The Fan in the End. We will catch you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.